I was 11, or maybe 12 the first time I played Final Fantasy VII. I can still vividly picture all of the powerful moments that transpire over the course of that game. From entering the gold saucer to the image of Red's father frozen in stone, to the iconic opening shot of Midgar. But there's one moment more than any other that is so thoroughly burned into my mind that it will probably stick with me for the rest of my life. If you're here, then, well, you probably already know what it is. I have a crystal clear memory of sitting in my bedroom as I run into the Forgotten Capital, desperate to find my resident healer. I enter the altar room and finally find her. I breathe a sigh of relief. But as I approached, a cloaked man descended from the ceiling, and before I knew what had happened, she was gone. One moment she was there, a permanent fixture of my party and the past week of my life, and the next moment she just wasn't. It hurt. And it hurt in a way I'd never really experienced before. These shots, both the one of Aerith praying and the one of her death, haunt me to this day because they represent the first time I had well and truly lost someone. A big part of gaming culture has always been rumors about how to get secret characters or items. If you look under the truck, you'll get Mew. If you beat 20 cruel wireframes in Melee, you'll get Sonic, and so on. However, to this day, I have never seen a wider variety of dubious theories for how to do anything than the myriad of ways I've seen for how to try to revive Aerith. At the game's height, anyone who played the game will be able to tell you some idea they heard about how to revive her, how to prevent her death, how to do anything to keep her around just a little longer. We were traumatized. Someone we knew and cared about had died. For many of us, it was the first time we'd had to experience it. And we were trying, fruitlessly, to deny that it had happened. This painful experience was entirely intentional. During development of Final Fantasy VI, the mother of series creator and producer Hironobu Sakaguchi passed away. It was an event that Sakaguchi himself struggled to cope with, or even fully understand, but would go on to become the foundation of the themes of life and death that Final Fantasy VII holds so dear. However, to write about life and death, you need to make sure your audience experiences both, in the starkest, most realistic ways possible. Life in the world of Final Fantasy VII is grim, unfair, and often cruel, and death is exactly the same. When Aerith dies, it isn't in the heat of battle or some blatantly explained and foreshadowed event or some romanticized, gentle release. It's sudden and violent and abrupt. The sword cuts straight through her before she falls forward, eyes open, mouth agape. She gets no final words, no gentle smile, no comfort to herself or those around her. She's just gone. That's it. No matter what you do from here on out, you will constantly sense her absence. Her spot remains forever empty on the character selection screen. There is no replacement healer out there, and despite what legends might say, there is no genuine way to revive her. You will always feel her impact on the world of the game, but she is well and truly never coming back. And unfortunately, this is the typical reality of death in real life. There is no replacing that person anymore. There is no substitute. They're just gone. And if they meant anything to you at all, you'll never truly move past that fact. All you can really do is slowly learn how to live with it and cope. And this journey towards acceptance of what has happened instead of an attempt to conquer it is what we see the rest of the cast doing in the game's run. Everyone here is trying to move past some sort of past trauma. A trauma almost always paralleled by some degradation to the most important place to them in the world. Final Fantasy VII considers trauma inseparable from where it happened. Yuffie's once powerful nation of Wutai has been reduced to nothing more than a pitiful tourist trap, and stealing all the materia in the world won't change that. North Corel is completely leveled as a direct result of Barrett's actions that the residents of the town don't and never will forgive him for. And while Nibelheim may still stand, the faces there will always remain foreign and cloaked from Tifa and Cloud. The town is identical, but just like returning to somewhere nostalgic after many years, it may not have changed, but it will never be the same. It's an echo, and it's gone. If you're lucky, you can fix some of the damage and make life better for yourself and those you care about, but it's just as likely that you're simply going to have to learn how to let it go and accept it and carry it as part of you. And for better or worse, because you carry it with you, you will also carry those people with you. This is the reason we see Aerith's ghost in the church, and it's why she's the final person we see, and it's why she was ultimately the one who saved us. Because someone's gone doesn't mean it's the end of our relationship with them. What they did, what they said, and who they were will always be with us, informing our lives and our choices. Just like Aerith, they're gone, but they're still here, and always will be. Final Fantasy VII isn't the first game with sorrowful moments. It's not even the first Final Fantasy game to have them. But due to its runaway success, it became the first for many, myself included. It was the first game that made me love, but also made me cry. It was the first game to hurt me, to make me feel genuine, earnest loss. If the game considers trauma inseparable from the place it affected, then FF7 is our traumatic location, our Nimbleheim. People say the game as a whole doesn't hold up, but it was never going to. We've already experienced the trauma, we've already felt that pain, and it's still there, but we've learned how to live with it. That crying 12-year-old kid in me is still there, frantically wondering if there's some way, any way to bring her back. But I know there's not. I've accepted that, not just for her, but for many people in my life. And that revelation frees me to honor them, and turn having known them into a way to benefit my life, rather than dragging it down. For me personally, it's been a really hard skill to learn, but it has served me well. And Final Fantasy VII was the game that opened the door to helping me learn it. I think it's safe to say that I'm not alone in that.